Hi everybody, this is Cindy from VintageToNew and I'm releasing a new pattern. I haven't released a pattern in a really long time and I have to use a different program now to draw them in, and so they look a little different. So I'm going to show you really quickly how to put them together. So on the first page you will see that it has scale check boxes. So take your ruler, and this first box is an inch exactly, and the second box is, if you're a centimeters person, that's 2 centimeters exactly. So you should have your printer set to no scaling. You don't want it to increase or make it smaller or anything like that. It wants to be printed exactly as it is, so no scale. The box that goes around each of the pages is 7 inches by 10 inches, so it should print on any size regular printer paper. Now, you can cut a couple of these at a time. I wouldn't do more than a couple. What's happening is this line that goes around the outside is split, and so you're going to cut it and then piece it together, and I'll show you what that means. But I like to go cutting very carefully right along this line. I'm doing 2 pages right now. This particular pattern that I'm releasing is really small. It's only six pages, so it's really not very much, and it's just a habit. I always go across the top. Even though this is the top row, it won't make any difference, but I just do it. I'll show you why. So here's my second set of 2 pages, and I'm being very careful to cut right along that line, and I'm holding it nice and tight so they don't slip. If you have trouble holding on to them, just cut them one at a time. This whole 6 pages wouldn't take very long to do. And here's our last set. Alrighty, and across the top. Okay, get rid of this. Alright, so you'll notice that your patterns have a number and a letter in the background. So what it's telling you is this is row 1, column A, row 1, column B, C, and then it goes to row 2. So it's only three wide. And so what you're going to do, because we cut the right side in the top, it leaves the left side right here, and there's a 1/2 inch, and you can use that to put your paper over and line up that line that you cut. Okay, see how that lines up really nice, and this little triangle looks good, this little triangle looks good, and most importantly, this is the pattern pieces here, all this area. So when you tape it, tape in the pattern area like that. So when you cut it apart, the pattern stays together. Alright, and then 1C. So I'm going to line that line up. It should line up at the bottom, the top. Alright. Most importantly, the pattern piece right here. Alright, so we have half of our pattern done already. Now the reason we cut across the top is when we start on our second row, and if I have another pattern come out later that may be larger, there may be more across in the row or more rows down, this is just a great way to do it. See, we already have this top cut, and you just line it up the same way that we did the others. So my line is all lined up, my pattern lines line up, everything looks good, and I'm going to tape it in the pattern area. Right there. And one word of warning on this pattern, I should have been thinking ahead. I used black for this pattern here, and this black line here goes through the pattern. This is the pattern line here, and it's pretty obvious that it is, but I could see where somebody could get confused. So be careful with that. Think it through as you're looking at it. All right, so we're going to do this, and having this little 1/2 inch piece to line everything up on and tape to is really nice. And there we go. Taping across there. Down here. And our very last piece. Just like that. Now, this is my VintageDori, which means a cover for a traveler's notebook. And this is my little pixie series. They're all named after pixies. There's the little pixie journal. It's a mini journal. The Pixie Traveler, which is a passport size journal, all the way up to the biggest one, which is the Pixie Planner. And if you've been on my channel for a while, you know that I love these vintage little fairies. So I added some of my favorites to pretty up the pattern. And so there we have it. So basically what we have are rounded corner covers and square corner covers, okay? And there's something called an extension that you can put on each one. And so you have the cover here for the little mini journal, and then this is the extension. And what the extension does is it comes up over your inserts like this, so it protects your inserts. So that's all the extension is, and you have the option to do it on the square or the round for each size, and there's 5 different sizes. So you would just cut out whichever one you want to make. I personally like to back them onto cardboard, either a cereal box. The smaller one, I used a file folder, and that way you're just ready anytime you want to make a little dory cover. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this looks like something that's easy and straightforward. And so till next time, this was Cindy from Vintage to New.